What's going on, everybody? We're going to get ready to get started in just a few moments. And we're going to be doing some stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of things that have happened. We've had some injury updates within the last few hours in the NFL. Um, for example, we have a player go on injured. We had a couple players go on injured reserve. Um, to miss the rest of the year. And another big injury plagues a NFC team, and so we're definitely going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about my top five games um, from this week, and probably a game that will be deemed the game of the year at least so far. Uh, so we're going to get started in just under 60 seconds. Appreciate everybody coming in with me, and we're definitely going to talk about everything, and we're definitely going to have a really good time. So make sure y'all share this show out. Make sure y'all let everybody know what's going on. I went ahead and shared it to some areas too, and um, and definitely make sure that you come on in, and we're just gonna have some fun. So we're gonna get ready to get started, and let's get it. 60 seconds, y'all. Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody? What's going on, everybody? Football fans everywhere. Welcome in to the Truth League Report. I am your host, Blue Enforcer, aka The Truth, and we're gonna get this show started right away. And so definitely make sure y'all share this show out. Definitely share this out to everybody, and and let everybody know where they can come on in, and definitely talk about all things NFL. Definitely come in and talk about that, and we are going to get everything started. So we're going to be talking about all teams, not just the Tennessee Titans, but some of the other teams as well. We definitely had a lot of injury news that has come out recently, and we're definitely going to talk about that. And then, of course, um, we'll definitely go into my top five games and my top five ballers um, from week 10. And so, I'm actually putting some information in that I just got, and we're definitely going to get right into that. So, what a week of football it was. It was definitely a great week of football. I know y'all see on the top the Titans did beat the Denver Broncos 17-10, so I had to change it and make it the correct one. So definitely excuse me on that. Uh, you know, Shout out to everybody that is tuning in right now, and we're definitely going to get right into it. So one of the first things that went down, some injury news that has happened is that uh, the Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard, aka Darius Leonard, will be missing the remainder of the 2023 of the remainder of the 2022 season. So he will be missing the rest of the year, and he will have season-ending back surgery. So he's going to have back surgery, and that's going to put him out for the rest of the year. That's a big blow to the Colts defense, and we know the Colts are already pretty much on the ropes um, already, and they're probably not in a good spot to make the playoffs. And this blow does not help them at all. And that is unfortunate for them. I mean, it's probably good for the Titans, but as far as the coach, with Jeff Saturday now the interim head coach, losing one of your best defensive players probably doesn't help very much in that regard. So it's definitely a shame that type of information, that news came down. Um, so that's very unfortunate for them and everything. So very bad news indeed for the Indianapolis Colts. Also, in other news in LA, Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp will be going to IR, so he's going to be out at least the next 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain, and he's going to definitely require some surgery, so he could be out for an extended period of time. Don't know how much time that's going to be in the grand scheme of things, but him being out for at least 4 weeks, that's going to hurt the Rams offense tremendously. And that is a tough break for the Rams. I mean, because Cooper Kupp is their best player. He is their best player, and he helps make that offense go. So unfortunate, but them be the breaks. Sometimes, and hopefully he does get to come back at some point during the year. By the way, if you're new to the show, make sure you follow the channels here because I try to put out a Truth League report every week. So I definitely try to do that and go over the games from this past Sunday, any new updates, any news that comes out. Definitely try to update everybody when in regards to that. And I see we got Titan Fox in here saying tighten up. Jeff Saturday, he put Sunday. Jeff Saturday did a good job motivating the team to get Ryan back out there against a bad Raiders team. And I agree. So congratulations to Jeff Saturday on his first victory as a head coach. Titans Rossi, what's up with you? So congratulations are in store. On Facebook, somebody says my Chiefs are going to win their third Super Bowl. We will definitely see. The Chiefs don't look invincible or anything like that. So, I mean, that's going to be, we're definitely going to find out. We'll definitely see in regards to that. We'll see if the Chiefs can do that and everything. So, that is something that's going to be extremely interesting when it comes to that. Of course, some other news after some fumbles on punt returns, the Green Bay Packers, ahead of their Thursday night game against the Tennessee Titans, have cut former third-round pick Amari Rodgers, who, of course, was formerly one of the good Clemson wide receivers. And so, he had his struggles. He had his struggles on punt return, and he had his fourth fumble of the year as a punt returner. So they decided to let him go and everything. So that is I mean, it's unfortunate for him. I mean, it's you can't fumble the football, especially on punt return, which could give another team some extra possessions. So you can't do stuff like that. Also, one other key injury from um last night's Eagles Commanders game, where the Eagles did fall for the first time, and Dallas Goddard suffers a shoulder injury and will miss extended time due to that. So that was just coming out today. Dallas Goddard will miss extended time due to a shoulder injury they suffered on Monday night. So that was from NFL Network from Mike Garafolo and Tom Pelissero as they reported. So there's definitely some big injury news that's happening around the NFL. Definitely had a small move that maybe could affect the Titans and things like that. We're definitely going to find out. Of course, in Titan news wise, one of our corners, Caleb Farley, our former first round pick, he is going to IR. He's going to IR and probably could be out for the remainder of the season due to possibly a herniated disc. And that was reported, of course, by, placed on injured reserve. I think that does end his season most likely due to that back injury, due to the back injury that he suffered. So, it's going to likely require surgery for him. And so that's pretty much going to end his 2022 season. So for 2 straight years, Caleb Farley out for the year. Ben Jones, our center, is in concussion protocol. Also, our kicker, Randy Bullock, could be a game time decision, which is why they brought in Josh Lambo onto the practice squad. He may possibly have to go in on kick duty. And then, of course, as a commenter mentioned, Stanley Wilson says at least through 2023, I want to say, we signed Laurel Murchison, defensive lineman, just to have some depth. I believe he got signed through the remainder of the season. So, and also Joe Schobert, a linebacker who definitely did some good things, will be signed onto the active roster. So we definitely got a lot of news going on around the NFL. And so that's going to make some things very interesting. Kent Wood says AJ Brown got hurt last night also. It did look like I did see where he limped off the field a little bit during one play. And so that is, I don't know what's going to be the future with that with AJ Brown and everything, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Eagles going forward and everything. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to pay some attention to and everything. So um, that's something that we're definitely going to look at. But yeah, he rolled up his ankle. Left the game briefly. I know he finished the game, but we'll see what that does mean for the future going forward. So let's get into our top 5 games from this past Sunday. And now I'm going to put in obviously the scores again. Make sure y'all do go follow all the pages below, whether it's the TNT Enforcers page, that's the fan page. All fans are welcome. Also at Titans_in_truth on Instagram, and also at TNT Blue Enforcer on Twitter as well. So definitely make sure you hit up those channels. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the show. Also hit that like button as well. So that way you will be up to date. And when you hit subscribe, also make sure you hit all on hit all on that bell so you get all the notifications for anything that comes out. So definitely, again, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you download the show if you can't listen to all the show. You can go back and watch on YouTube, or you can download it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get any of your podcasts. And you can definitely download the episodes and be able to you'll be able to listen in and enjoy. So let's get right into it. Our top 5 games from this past Sunday. Of course, I will quickly mention that my Titans were a winner, 17-10. Yes, you had to drink some water. 17-10, the Titans get a victory over the Denver Broncos, and they improve, of course, to 6-3 on the year. And I believe the Broncos dropped to 3-6 on the year, and the Titans are right now sitting pretty at the number 3 spot in the AFC. So there's basically a 4-way tie for third, but of course the Titans and the Ravens, both 6-3, are division leaders. So that's why they're up ahead. And then, of course, the Jets and the Bills are wild card teams, which the AFC East is looking pretty strong to possibly get 3, maybe even 4, all 4 teams into the playoffs. Because right now, if you take a look at the AFC, Chiefs are number 1, Dolphins are 2, Titans 3, Ravens 4. And then you got 3 AFC East teams at 5, 6, and 7. If the playoffs started today, all 4 AFC East teams would make the playoffs. All 4. And the Patriots would get in because right now, over strength of victory, they would get in over the Chargers. They would be in over the Chargers. So as of right now, all 4 AFC East teams will be in. In the NFC, the Eagles have a tiebreaker over Minnesota on head-to-head win percentage. So right now the Eagles are still the number 1 seed, but the Vikings have an opening now at 2. 3 are the Seahawks, 4 the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're the division leaders. And the wild card spots are the Giants, the Cowboys, and then the San Francisco 49ers, a half game ahead of the aforementioned Washington Commanders. So the Commanders are hanging in there. And they got that big win last night. So they have a chance. Right now, it is wide open in the NFL. There is really no clear-cut favorite at all. So, Type 5 says, with our injuries the last 2 years, depth is our main focus, not superstars for high-money contract. Makes sense. I mean, depth is important. Don't get me wrong. But you need some stars, too. You're going to have a few stars. So here are my top 5 games from this week in the NFL. And I'm sorry I kind of talked everybody's head off. We just had, of course, again, a lot of big-time news, a lot of injury news that has come down the turnpike. So we definitely needed to, somewhat address that. So number 5, we go to the game that happened in Munich, in Germany, between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. And this was actually a pretty good game. Good hard-fought competition back and forth by both teams. It was very well played. And then at the end of the day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took care of business, got the win. Devin White had a couple of big-time sacks in this game. Rachaad White had 22 carries, 105 yards. Julio got a touchdown along with Chris Godwin. They tried to run a halfback pass with Leonard Fournette to Tom Brady, and Brady slips, and that pass ended up getting picked off, which I thought was pretty funny. But it was a great crowd there in Germany, so it definitely was very good for the first game ever to be played in Germany ever. I mean, we've had some games, we've had games in Mexico, and we obviously had a game, we have a couple of games in London, but now we've went to Germany, which definitely opens up for playing some games in more in more countries outside of the United States. So that was actually pretty cool. Number 4 would be the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. And this game looked like it was going to be kind of boring in the beginning, but then in the second half, the scoring really picked up. The action really picked up. Justin Fields, even though in the loss, I thought was pretty impressive. I mean, not great, but I think he's coming along. This is an organization that looks like they're not going to give up on him. And he definitely did some things both in the air and on the ground. But Detroit made, I think, a good play, had a pick six defensively by Jeff Okudah, and got a late touchdown touchdown run to be able to win the game and hold the Bears off 31-30. But a highly competitive and entertaining game. And I forgot to have the scores on the ticker underneath. Number 3, the Washington Commanders on Monday night go into a hostile environment like Lincoln Financial Field in Philly and upset the then undefeated Philadelphia Eagles 32-21. So there are no more undefeated teams in the NFL. Washington's defense was definitely opportunistic. They hopped on 3 big turnovers in the game. They intercepted Jaylen Brown where he was trying to go deep to A.J. Brown. They had another fumble. They recovered a fumble where I believe Watkins was the player who he caught a deep pass and then wasn't touched. He tried to get up and run some more, loses the ball, and then Washington recovers. And then there was a very controversial play where Dallas Goedert catches the ball, and as he's going down, he gets pulled down by the face mask, and also Washington pops the ball loose, and the play started to continue, and it looked like Washington was going in for a touchdown, but instead, they said that Goedert was down, that the Washington player was down by contact right where he recovered the fumble. But the crazy thing about it is the refs completely missed that face mask. There was a blatant face mask on that play, and then Dallas Goedert, of course, was hurt on that play and did not return. But Taylor Heinicke, I mean, he helped Washington win the AFC East, I believe, a couple of years ago. They win the NFC East a few years back, and Taylor Heinicke might be the better option than Carson Wentz. And, I'm going to get to the Commanders. I'm going to definitely talk about them because there was something very impressive. Terry McLaurin had a 100-yard game and things like that. And again, Washington was just very opportunistic, and they did exactly what they had to do. Coming in at number 2, the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, a team that the Tennessee Titans will see in a couple of days on Thursday night. Green Bay gets the win 31-28. Now, in this game, it was back and forth, but it did look like for a while the Dallas Cowboys is going to run away with it. They were up by 2 scores, up 28-14, but could not finish the job. Dak Prescott was picked off twice in this game, and then the Packers were able to do enough, got it to overtime, and was able to get out of Lambeau, stay at home with a big victory. And even though there was a little bit of controversy between Aaron Rodgers and head coach Matt LaFleur, we don't know what that's going to mean for Thursday night, because, I mean, if those two are not on the same page, that could look good for us. And Denver's defense has been an issue. Green Bay has lost games to some not good teams in the past. So, Green Bay, even though it is, us on the road and the Titans are at a disadvantage, they've lost to some teams they probably had no business losing to. Like, there was a point where they lost 5 in a row. They lost to Detroit. They lost to Detroit. I mean, they lost to a Giants team that is looking pretty impressive. Got dominated at home by the Jets. Lose to the Commanders as well. So, I mean, the Packers are very beatable. They looked good in this game, but they are very, very beatable. That much I can tell you. And then the Cowboys, no Zeke in this game and things like that. So, I mean, the Cowboys just essentially blew that game. They had everything really under control, and they let the Packers score 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter in overtime, even though CeeDee Lamb balled out, had 150 yards and 2 TDs, and Pollard had 150 yards in the game. I definitely, I love Tony Pollard to death, being a former Memphian from the Memphis Tigers. But, I mean, the Cowboys 6-3, we'll definitely see. They're still in control. They're not, they're still not in control of the East. They're still in control of the East, I should say, right now. I'm sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, I'm sorry. They're not in control of the East. Philly is. Philly is in control of the East, and then the Giants are right there. So, I mean, the NFC East is definitely going to be a dogfight to the very, very end. So now, and then let's see. And Ms. Mims asking, how am I doing? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. She's hoping for a Titans win Thursday night. We're definitely going to see. Brandon says tighten up. Let's see. A-Name says Heineke is a better option than Wentz. Wentz is a draft pick vampire. That's it. So that is, I mean, yeah. Right now, Taylor Heineke does look like the better option at the moment. But number one is probably what's going to go down right now at this moment as the game of the year so far. Minnesota and Buffalo. And what a game this was. I mean, the Buffalo Bills coming in hot, 7-2, look like they're unbeatable. 6-2 rather. Look like they're unbeatable. Like, nobody can stop them. Good offense, good defense. On the other side, there's a good offense and defense too in the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. And you got probably the best receiver in the game today in Justin Jefferson. Well, you got 2 of the best receivers in the game today with him and Stephon Diggs. And it looked like it was going to be a blowout for Buffalo, because at one point in this game, I was looking at the score during the watch party, and we were as I was talking about the Titans, and it was at one point 27-10 in favor of the Buffalo Bills. It looked like Buffalo was going to blow. It looked like Buffalo was going to blow Minnesota out of the water. It looked like Minnesota had absolutely zero chance of winning this game, had zero shot of coming back in this game. But they didn't quit. They didn't stop. And they, you know, they just came back. They kept fighting. They kept they were just relentless, and they found a way. They got some key turnovers from Patrick Peterson. And I mean, Steve and Justin Jefferson making a big catch, a fumble in the end zone where Buffalo made the stop on Minnesota on a 4th and goal, and Buffalo looked like, okay, we're going to put this game away. Josh Allen fumbles at the 1-yard line. Ball is in the end zone, recovered by Minnesota for a touchdown. And then Buffalo, with like 30 seconds to go, gets down the field, kicks a field goal, takes it to overtime. Minnesota scores a field goal, goes up 33-30. And then Patrick Peterson picks off Josh Allen to end the game. And as Titan Fox said, that game was insane. That game was very much insane. And so I have to admit, I had fun going back, looking at that. I could probably go back and look at that whole game all over again. And Jeff A-Name says that Jefferson catch made OBJ's catch look like child's play. Kinda did. And I think Stephon Diggs had a similar catch like that too in that same game. So it was incredible. Miss Mims, I did not get to fully listen to the Buck Rising show. I heard his primetime show last night, and I don't think Vrabel's really woke up about Todd Downing. I don't think so. I just don't know if in his mind he realizes that there's a problem. I'm probably going to go back and maybe listen to it, maybe see if I can pick up on something. I'll definitely see. But that may have been the game of the year. And I thought it was a absolutely tremendous ball game. I had fun watching it back. And it was definitely one of the best non-Titan games I've seen, besides the game with the Chiefs and the Rams that went, I believe, 54-50. So it was cool. I mean, like I said, both of them had big catches, had them big one-hand grabs. I mean, Jefferson basically stole an interception from somebody. Diggs, I think, came in and he didn't nab it like this. He came in like this. His hand was away from his body and he stabs that in. I mean, it was insane. Literally insane how that all went down. So I definitely enjoyed that game. So those were my top 5 games from this week. And now we're definitely going to get into my top 5 ballers from this week's game. And I got a little something special to add in on that as well. So let's start at number 5. And usually I don't give love to a losing effort, but I am on this instance. Justin Fields for the Bears. He went 12 of 20, 167 yards, threw 2 touchdown passes to Cole Kmet. But and he did have an interception that ended up being a pick 6 with Jeff Okudah. But he also had 13 carries, 147 yards, and 2 touchdown runs, including a very impressive 67-yard touchdown run. And I thought about that. I said, Malik Willis could do that. He could literally do that. I could see it. So even though it was a losing effort, very impressed with Justin Fields. And I think because there were some times early in the year it looked like the Bears might give up on them. And I don't know if they still will or not, because, I mean, depending on where they're positioned in the draft, they could definitely be in position to draft a big-time quarterback, and, be able to maybe trade Justin Fields. We will definitely see. So let's see. Laurel Murchison, multi-year deal. Was on a practice squad, got game day elevation the last 2 weeks. He's on a 53-man roster. I don't really care about that because, I mean, Laurel Murchison, I really don't be noticing him at all. I don't notice him, pretty much. Ty Fox, yep, my fantasy opponent got 40-plus points from Fields. Yeah, when you throw for 2 TDs and you run for 2 TDs and then you get 100 yards rushing, you're going to get points. That much is a fact. Number 4, a resident baller on this show, former Titan running back and now Panther running back, D'Onta Foreman. 31 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown in last Thursday's victory over the Atlanta Falcons. And again, I am a D'Onta Foreman fan. I am happy for him getting the opportunity in Carolina. Of course, now with Christian McCaffrey gone to San Francisco, he's getting much more of an opportunity, and I couldn't be more happy for him. Couldn't be more happy for him. So, D'Onta Foreman is a hard runner. I used to call him Derrick Henry Jr. because with him, you don't have to change the game plan. You can run the exact same way with D'Onta Foreman as you did with Derrick Henry. Now, I hate he ain't on the team now, but again, I think the Titans wanted him back, but at the same time, he wanted a chance to start somewhere, and he is flourishing in Carolina right now. So, shout out to D'Onta Foreman. Right now he is leading his team in rushing. He's got 426 rushing yards on just 91 carries in 10 games. So, he could definitely hit 1,000 yards by himself. We're definitely going to see. At number 3, the current leading rusher in the NFL, Saquon Barkley, had another nice game. I believe it was his 5th or his 6th game of 100 yards this year. 35 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown in a win over the lowly Texans, and that pushed the Giants to 7-2 on the year. A very impressive 7-2 at that. They really should be 6-3 because they should have lost to us in the beginning of the year. But Saquon Barkley looks like he's back to form. He's had a rough couple of years due to injury, but it looks like he is finally back to form and back to himself. And that spells trouble for the rest of the NFC East and anybody else that plays the Giants, because he is absolutely a terrific running back. At number 2, Christian Watson for the Green Bay Packers. 4 catches, 107 yards, 3 catches were touchdowns. Christian Watson was a guy I looked at in the draft from North Dakota State, and I was thinking maybe the Titans should take him. He got taken at the top of the 2nd round. I think, honestly, if they had kept their 26th pick, I would have went with Christian Watson. I definitely like him. I think he has some good speed. He has good hands. I like Christian Watson out of North Dakota State. Hate that he's not with the Titans, but he's definitely looking pretty good in Green Bay. So definitely very impressed. We'll get to see him firsthand on Thursday night. Definitely could get separation as well. But number one is the Washington Commanders. First off, I'm going to give hats off to Brian Robinson. The stats may not look great. 26 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. But the thing that impresses me with Brian Robinson is this. Brian Robinson this dude had a turbulent year because 3 months ago, this man was a victim of a carjacking and got shot multiple times in broad daylight. Was shot multiple times, could have died. He literally could have died. And not only did he survive the shooting, he recovered from it. He was like, not only am I going to survive this, not only am I going to recover from this, I'm going to play football some more. And what up, Mad Titan? The Mad Titan, what's up with you? But Brian Robinson, as Cat Williams would say, he was in tune with his star player. Brian Robinson said, you ain't finna take my life from me. I'm going to survive this. Not only am I going to survive this, I'm going to recover. And not only am I going to recover, I will play football again. And he has. It is an incredible, incredible story what has happened with Brian Robinson. Gets drafted out of Alabama, got shot 3 months ago multiple times, survives, and is now playing in the NFL. It's incredible. So shout out to Brian Robinson for even just being alive and playing ball. And then there's Joey Sly, who went 4 for 4 on field goals. He kicked a 58-yarder in the first half and helped propel the Commanders to beat the then undefeated Philadelphia Eagles 32-21. So the Commanders took command. Got to put that number one because, hey, first of all, with Brian Robinson, that was a great story, and they beat an undefeated team. But that's not the overall game winner. Those were just the top 5. They would be honorable mentions compared to this. And that is the game of the year. First, we're going to start with the losing team, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen throws for 330 yards, had the 2 Patrick Peterson interceptions, but threw 4 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, 12 catches, 128 yards, including that insane one-handed grab. Gabriel Davis had 6 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. And Devin Singletary, who gives no look of a running game, ran for 2 touchdowns. So Bills Mafia came to play, looked like they were going to run away with it early, but instead, it was all about the skull. It was all about the skull as the Vikings come back from 17 down to win in overtime. Kirk Cousins throws for 357. Justin Jefferson with the insane catch, 10 catches for 193 and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, 14 carries, 119 yards, including a long touchdown run himself, which was, again, part of a awesome football game that it was. An awesome game. And Dalvin Cook, that touchdown one was 81 yards. And then the defense showed up with not only a defensive touchdown that helped force overtime, but also Patrick Peterson with 2 big interceptions, including the game-winning interception to win it in overtime. Everybody that thought that Patrick Peterson was done and washed up, not so fast. So, I mean, like I said, Bills Mafia and the Vikings, they are overall the biggest baller of the game, of the week, and probably of the year. So they got their own time themselves on this. And Titan Fox says, Skull, is that like the really cheap vodka or is that the new word? That is the Viking chant, their hashtag, Skull, S-K-O-L. And I mean, yes, it is a type of vodka. But it is also, expressing feelings to somebody before taking a drink. In Viking terms, Skull, and then you take a drink. But shout out to the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills. That game was awesome. And I'm going to put it up one more time what the final score was in overtime, 33-30. Hell of a game. So, again, that was pretty much some of the best things that I saw from the league this week. I know there were some other scores that happened. The Chiefs getting a win. Miami continuing to surge ahead in the AFC East. The Raiders continue to stink. And so, there is a lot that's happening in the NFL. The NFL is wide open, y'all. It's anybody's game. Anybody can be beat. So anybody can be beaten. Anybody could win the big one. And we're going to find that out as the year goes on. So now I'm going to get ready to wrap this show up. Tomorrow night, come on back with me. We are going to preview Titans Packers. We're definitely going to talk about that. I may be able to have a guest on. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do so, but I am going to try. We'll definitely talk about that. And then also, of course, on Thursday, there will be a live stream. I am not 100% certain I will be at El Toro Loco. I may be there because I know it's supposed to be a pretty big gathering there. So I might go live there if I get some sleep before the game. If I can get some sleep before, then, I might be able to tough it out and then come on back home and go to sleep before I have to go to work. So I might tough it out and go to the watch party. But if not, I'll be right here going live, Titans Packers Thursday night on the live stream. So definitely come on out for that and everything. But I thank everybody for tuning into the Truth League Report. My name is Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. If there's any other breaking news that maybe comes out that's significantly important in the league, I will definitely bring that to your attention. But I thank everybody for tuning in. Y'all have a very good rest of your day. And I'll holler at you. Happy football.